Okay, welcome to episode 2 of the Offside Flag. For those of you who are watching the first time, I'm Dan and this is Gav. We just first of all would like to thank the people that have watched the first video for their feedback. We've had lots of help and a lot of questions, and shortly before recording this, my phone has been going absolutely balmy with questions that you'd like us to take, so just bear with us for the next couple of episodes, as what we've done is we've cut it down to half an hour. Introduction to today's show. We're going to preview the next 3 teams that we had on our list. As you know, we previewed the first 10 in the first episode. We're going to explore whether pre-season results really do matter, whether the top 4, as people have known the league for at least the last 10 years, whether that has now become the top 6, and then we're going to go into some of the questions that we've had from the viewers. A couple of them are sensible, a couple of them aren't, but as we said in the first episode, we will answer anything that you chuck in as long as we can air it. We're going to finish the show with predicting Sam Allardyce's first England 11. Gav's going to predict what he thinks the first 11 will actually be, and I'm going to predict what a lot of people who don't think that Sam Allardyce should be England manager, his team will be. So we're going to get on to our first section, which is Manchester United. And obviously last week we touched on Jose Mourinho being the manager and his signings this summer, or potential signings. So we've got Eric Bailly from Villarreal. He is a fullback. What do you think?
Yeah, very good signing. Another player in the La Liga team of the season, so not bad. And I mean, if you'll be able to defend against Messi and the like, you probably can perform on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke. Well, or who can really?
No, nobody can do it on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke. I think that's been pretty much explored, done. To be honest with you, as a normal human being, I wouldn't want to go to Stoke on any day, never mind a Tuesday night in the middle of winter, to be honest. But yeah, he's come with a £30 million price tag. He's got a job to do at United. I think Mourinho will get the best out of him. I think he'll do well. I think any signing that Manchester United make this summer is easily just going to be overshadowed by the signing of Zlatan, who we'll move on to now. Zlatan, we touched on his wage bill and whether he was worth it last week. What do you think he can do for Man United this season? His last 10 seasons have involved winning the league 9 times and finishing second. Will what he brings to Man United, will this bring them the Premier League title this season?
I don't think this season, because I think City will win it this season, but I think it'll be close. But I remember when I was growing up, used to have 50 pence a letter for on the back of shirts. So I think Ibrahimovic and Mkhitaryan are going to make a lot of parents very upset. But no, I think it would be very prolific. He comes with the goals as almost guaranteed with Zlatan. But I just feel that City, I think they'll be too strong this season. But no, I think he'll do his bit to make it a very entertaining title race.
Well, with 9 first places and a second place in the last 10 seasons, he comes with a massive rep. Me personally, I know we're going to do our Premier League predictions at some point, but I think that even without that, I think that United will be top of the tree this season, just because of the manager and his way and his ability of putting teams together. You touched on another signing from Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah,
Mkhitaryan. Yeah, he's come for an undisclosed fee. He's like Gundogan at Dortmund. He's got a good reputation as well. He's played a lot of games, experience.
Exactly, but I just question why everyone feels like they have to leave Dortmund. Really, it seems it's second place in Germany. I don't know really why it's such a sinking ship apparently, but a quality player should really help Zlatan or Martial or whoever's playing up front next season for United. Good assist ratio, good pass for the ball. So I think yes, he'll be another asset to United.
I think Dortmund have turned into like a higher quality Southampton in a way.
Yeah, that's quite.
They seem to bring or sign several very, very, very good players, develop them, and then they move on. And I think him and Gundogan are two of those players. But Dortmund always seem to do well, no matter who they sell, who they sign. So bringing them here is has been not too shabby, to be honest.
No.
I think it's a good thing for the Premier League. It's Germany's loss, but I think as an advertisement for the Premier League, I think there'll be two very, very good players.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I don't know many Armenian footballers, but he's probably the best one.
I'll be honest, I didn't even think Armenia had a football team.
They'll probably be England.
Fair enough.
Moving on to Middlesbrough, who seem to spend a lot of time in Spain.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Mr. Gibson's had a holiday in Spain this summer, but it seems to have expanded about 6 months. They've signed Barragan from Valencia for 3 million.
Yeah.
What do you think about him?
Decent signing, very cheap buy, and again, if you are going to stay up, you need to be kind of solid at the back. So it's, again, decent.
The reason I'm asking Gav about the Spanish football is, quite frankly, I know sod all about Spanish football. If you ask me about Barcelona or Real Madrid, yeah, fantastic. Anybody else, he's your man. Espinosa from Sporting Gijon. I think it's said like that anyway.
Well, I'm not a Spanish linguist, but yes, I believe that is correct. Actually, not a player I'm not familiar with, but again, hopefully Middlesbrough have done their scouting, and will be interesting to see. I think this is the thing with a new season, isn't it? Sort of players you don't know, and part of the excitement is you get to see how they actually play. So yes.
Their next signing is, I think he's called Fischer from Ajax for 3.8 million.
Only know about him from FIFA, but
everybody knows a player from FIFA. Everybody knows a player from FIFA. Let's be honest, he was probably one of those players that you went into the transfer market for on FIFA and you thought, hey, he looks a bit good, and signed him anyway.
Yeah, quite. But if his FIFA record's anything to go by, I recommend him. It could be quite a gem.
I think after this, you're probably going to find that me and Gav are going to spend the entire evening looking through FIFA for stats. On to Alvaro Negredo, who has signed on loan. I do know a bit about Negredo, so I'm going to field this. Ex-Manchester City. Didn't really perform to massive expectations at Manchester City, but for a side like Middlesbrough to get a player like him on loan is a fantastic acquisition. He'll score goals in the Premier League. Yeah.
Exactly.
But hasn't he got Stuart Downing to assist him?
He will not score goals in the Premier League.
Yeah, scrap that. He's not going to score. No. Downing. Yeah. No. But in all seriousness, he's a good player and he can probably take a fair bit on his own.
Yeah. But I'd call Downing, he is a player that's from the McLaren era. So, well, that's enough said on that one, really.
To be fair to Steve McLaren, he actually did quite well at Middlesbrough. He got them to a European Cup final.
No, well, yes, he did, but I saw something. I think it was 14th when he started there.
Yeah.
He took them to 14th when he left there, so progression.
Another one of their players that they have signed is Victor Valdez. Yeah, I think he's he's been released by Man United. He signed for Middlesbrough. They had two good goalkeepers at the club, but I think Valdez is that step forward that they need. Definitely. Great goalkeeper. How can you not be a good goalkeeper if you've played for Barcelona and Man United? It's not exactly a rubbish CV, is it? I mean,
exactly.
You could do a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he'll be a quality. Well, he's a free transfer, isn't he? I believe.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Yeah. Well, again, quality free transfer. I don't know what the wages are like, but again, if he keeps Middlesbrough in the Premier League, then he's probably deserved those wages. So yes. Now this is where we had a problem, wasn't it? Trying to remember the next club when we're doing it, because since Newcastle and Norwich have left the Premier League, M to S in the alphabet seems a big jump. But Southampton, we are informed, of the next club in the Premier League.
Yeah, we sat there and it took us a good 5 minutes.
Yes.
At least to try and get as much information on this as possible.
And only 4 of those were trying to try and remember the alphabet.
Yeah. Their incomings are, well, first of all, they've got a new manager in Claude Puel, who is the ex-Lyon manager,
yes,
I believe. He's got a massive job, huge job on his hands. Koeman did well, Pochettino did well, he's got a massive job on his hands. They brought in Højbjerg from Bayern Munich. Do you know much about him?
A little bit, yeah. Very decent player. I was reading a book about Bayern Munich and the tactics and everything, and Guardiola rates him very, very highly. So, I mean, and he would know a lot about a midfielder who can pick out a pass, and I think Højbjerg is that. And it's what I like about Southampton in a way. Touched on it earlier, they lose a lot of players, but they always got someone waiting in the wings. Like Classy last season, I mean, he'll be a good sign. He'll be a good player, I think. And although a player we disagree on is Nathan Redmond.
Yeah, we do disagree on, because Gav thinks that he's a good player, and I think he's nothing more than a championship player. And I just don't rate. I'll be honest, if they'd have signed him for about £2 or £3 million, I'd have thought, yeah, fair enough, backup player, sit on the bench, come on when needed. But for 11 million quid, they've got to be looking to start him.
Yeah. Well, then again, how much was Pella? How much did he go for into the Chinese league? I think he was a fair amount, wasn't he? And the Mane money. So I think Southampton do have a lot more money to spend. So it'd be interesting to see what other buys they make in this transfer window.
Well, my argument then would be, if they've got a lot more money to spend, why did they spend it on Nathan Redmond? The problem is, where was he originally? Birmingham?
Yeah, I believe Birmingham, yes.
Yeah. So he was an above par player at Birmingham.
Mm.
He didn't really light up anything for Norwich. And as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't really done anything. So for him to go to Southampton for £11 million is a big move for him. It's whether it's going to work out for the club. And this is where our argument from last week comes in as well. English player. If he's a foreign player, are Southampton spending £11 million on him?
No, I don't think if you put an O on his name, he probably is not going to be £11 million. But I think, again, I view it as in terms of, it's a separate thing, isn't it? If you're English, there's always going to be a premium. So I think for 11 million he is. And I would argue for Norwich, he wasn't a bad player. I mean, it's difficult to shine in a struggling team as well. So it'd be interesting to see Southampton, who will create more chances, how he does there.
Yeah, we're going to have a look at a couple of the outgoings. Obviously, we touched on Mane when we looked at Liverpool last week, so we're not going to say too much about him, apart from the fact that I think for a side like Southampton, obviously we said that he wasn't worth the £30 million price tag to Liverpool. However, to a side like Southampton, he will be a big loss as a player. He had settled in there, the team worked around him, so I think that'll be a big loss for them. The other one that we wanted to look at is Graziano Pella, who seems to have moved to China for about £85 billion. The money that they spent to take him in there is absolutely ridiculous. What's he on there? It's about £850,000 a week or something like that, isn't it?
I don't know, but I mean, it's
it feels like it seems like it. Yeah, fair enough. It's a good move financially, but I don't think he's going to get much out of it.
I won't lie. If I was a footballer, I would definitely do that.
But Gaston Ramirez has been released, and as I believe, he's signed for Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So going to a Premier League rival, and also the Victor Wanyama has left as well, which they've lost their midfield, Southampton. So they've bought Højbjerg in. They need another one really, a centre midfielder, and they need a good one as well because. Yeah, that's pretty much the middle of their spine gone.
Exactly, and they need a striker as well. So again, but they've got lots of money to go after these players. But I think the problem is then the clubs that are going to buy them off also know they've got lots of money to go after these players. So there's going to be a markup on these players. So.
Yeah. Right. What we're going to do is we're going to move swiftly on, and our next topic is: do pre-season results really matter? Right. I've put this one in because Man United lost 4-1 to Borussia Dortmund the other day, and social media, Twitter, Facebook, and whatever other media site you can come up with, we're all giving Man United stick and going on about it and on and on and on, and we wanted to talk about this. Do pre-season results really matter? My opinion, no, they don't.
I completely agree. Apart from fitness and things like that, I can't see. I mean, you can try out different systems and things like that, but I think that's it. It's just to test the water. I don't think anyone really cares, or shouldn't care too much about pre-season. So no, I don't think it's. But the only thing I get surprised by is Dortmund were able to field a team.
No, at the end of the day, pre-season is work on the team, work on the players, work on the fitness. Results don't really matter. I mean, if you win the Premier League in May, if you're a Man United player, if you're a Man United and you win the Premier League in May and you've lost 4-1 to Dortmund in a pre-season friendly, does it matter? Does it heck? You got a big shiny trophy at the end of it. Doesn't matter. Pre-season is to settle in and help everything move along, get yourself set for the new season. I think the Premier League season starts on the 13th of August, doesn't it? It starts the week after the Football League.
Yeah.
I mean, United have got another 2 weeks to bring in players. Wouldn't be surprised if Paul Pogba turns up in that time for a ridiculous fee, but
I think the only issue where it could affect the teams or players or whatever is if they take it, if it's a dent to the confidence. So I suppose this is where the managers have to manage the players and sort of make sure that the morale and the confidence is high. So that's the only negative aspect I can think of. But apart from that, no, it's absolutely fine to not worry about losing at pre-season.
What we're going to do now is we're going to go on to a couple of the questions that the viewers have sent in to us. At Nutworth87 has sent in on Twitter, and we think this is a brilliant question. Yeah. How much would Paul Scholes cost in the transfer market at the moment when he was in his prime? Do you want to have a go at this first?
Yeah, sure. It's, again, fantastic player, very underrated player. So I think that would knock his price down a little bit because he wasn't appreciated for how good he was. But again, English, so markup. and a consistent player, consistently brilliant player. Get many goals, many assists. I would go in the region of. I'll use this from reference point, and there are hundreds of reference points you could make, but Yamas Rodriguez, he had 5 or 6 good games, because I don't think Real Madrid bought him on his Monaco form. Went for, what's it, 67 million? So
Around about that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go within 60 to 70 million. Let's assume Paul Scholes is 27. Yes, about that. Because I think he's a far better player than Yamas, but Yamas was 5 years younger. So cancel each other out, I reckon.
Yeah, so we're saying the prime is for a professional footballer is around 27 to 31 years of age.
Yeah.
I'd say that with his ability that he had, there's 2 ways of looking at this. If you're a Man United fan, he's priceless. There is no price tag that you can put on Paul Scholes' head. But purely for this question, I think you've got to look at it. He'd probably be worth, in my opinion, about £45 million at the moment. Plus, you would get on top of that the fact that he's English, so you can probably add another 15-20 million pound onto that. So you're looking anywhere between 45 and 60 million pound for a player who was that good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd imagine he's that kind of player that he could play in a Sunday League team now and he could still drop a ball on a 10p piece.
Yeah, exactly.
10 pence piece. He's that good of a player and was that good of a player. And if they ever did a Premier League team of the last, well, when it gets to say 50 years, I would be very surprised if he wasn't in that team.
Yeah, I think that's an idea for a future episode where we'll do our all-time Premier League team, and I think Scholes will probably make it into both of ours. So
yeah, I'd imagine so. We have had a daft question in. What colour are your favourite colour bootlaces?
Well, I've had many sleepless nights thinking about this. I'd probably just go for white. I think white, yes. That's not too fancy, but I mean, it's sort of black seems, although it's not technically a colour, black seems a bit boring. So yeah, white.
Well, my honest answer to that is I've only ever had one pair of boots that hasn't been black, so obviously my favourite boot colour is going to be black. Sorry to bore you, but it's the way it is. Right, we've had a question in from Chris Gray, who has asked us to predict Sam Allardyce's first England squad. Now, because of time restraints and things like that, what we've done, Chris, is we've come up with our Sam Allardyce starting 11 for the next Euros. Now, I will pre-warn viewers, Gav has come up with a serious one, and I haven't.
Yeah, and this is not the squad I would pick, but yes, starts off 4-2-3-1 formation. Joe Hart in goal, because I think he'll stick with him. Although, again, I would go Forster, but never mind, I won't go through mine. Rose left back, Stones, Smalling, Walker. Eric Dyer in CDM role, partnering Mark Noble. And Ross Townsend, Dele Alli, Sterling, and Vardy or Kane. I don't think it's they're probably quite interchangeable. And this is probably slightly closer to the mark than Dan's predicted England team.
Yeah, I thought, you know, some people are happy with Sam Allardyce's appointment. Some people think that he's just an old-fashioned manager, and I took the piss out of him a little bit by saying that I thought that he was a bit like Mike Bassett. So, in the only way I know how, I thought I'd do a team based on that. And in goal, I've got the world-class Ian Walker. Across the back, I haven't really done left backs or right backs because, you know, it's a bit of a joke team. So So across the back, I've gone for Vinnie Jones for his soft style of leadership. I've gone for Ryan Shawcross and his passing game. I've gone from Wacko from Mike Bassett, England manager, just to scare the hell out of people. I've gone for Stuart Pearce at left back because, well, to be honest with you, there's not many England teams that Stuart Pearce wouldn't get into, to be honest.
No.
So I suppose that was reasonably sensible.
Is intimidation a reason to be in the team?
Yeah, that's a fair point, yeah. Across the middle, I've gone for 3. I've got Joey Barton, soft tackler, doesn't really say much, calming influence. I've gone for Jody Morris, soft tackler, calming influence. And Mickey Thomas, who a lot of people under the age of about, what?
I'd say under the age of 30 aren't going to know who this guy is.
I'm going to know who this guy is. Not going to mention one specific incident that landed him in a bit of trouble, but I'd imagine he'd probably take the lads on a jolly up and get the team spirit going. Up front, I've gone with Kevin Nolan, because Sam Allardyce loves Kevin Nolan. I think that's pretty obvious. I've gone with Kevin Davis, because Sam Allardyce loves Kevin Davis.
I can only spell one name.
Yeah. And we are going, and last but not least, the one-cap wonder that is Michael Ricketts.
Who is playing as a cam in your formation.
Yeah, why not?
Very much the Mesut Ozil of his day, I believe.
Yeah, why not? But no, in all seriousness, where the England team is concerned, we do wish Sam Allardyce the best of luck. He's got a hell of a job on his hands.
There is one observation I want to make about your team. You've turned Vinnie Jones's nationality, and if you want to do that with Gareth Bale, then that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'd imagine Vinnie Jones is just go in the FA office or the FIFA office and just say, I'll play for who the hell I want. I don't think many people would question it, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Can you bring your passport, please?
Right. That's nearly the end of today's episode. What we'd like to do is just let you know that next week we're going to be focusing on Stoke, Sunderland, Swansea, and we might even chuck Tottenham in there while we're at it.
Yes, because we can't go for too many mediocre teams that begin with S. We need variety.
Yeah. So that will be part of our show next week. Like I said, we've had literally tens of questions come our way the last hour or so. So we're going to have a gander through them and we're going to put them on and we're going to answer them. I will be honest with you, some of them are absolute belters and will divide opinion between us, between you guys that watch it. They are fantastic questions. In the meantime, we're going to come up with some new material. All that's left to say is thank you very much for watching us again. If this is your first time, please like and subscribe it. Please watch us again. We're going to try and film on different locations. At the moment, it's a bit difficult to go anywhere else or go outside because it's Shrewsbury and it's pissing down with rain. So we will do as much as we can for you. Any suggestions, please put them in the comments box. If they're negative, if they're positive, we will take them all on board, and we hope to make this a good show for us and for you to watch. So thank you from me.
And thank you from me.
Thank you very much.